Have you ever seen a U.S. president plan an election 18 months in advance, control candidate selections, redesign party strategies, and campaign harder than the actual candidates, even though his name won't even be on the ballot? Well, that's exactly what's happening right now. Former President Donald Trump isn't officially on the ballot for the 2026 midterm elections, but make no mistake, he is aggressively leading the Republican campaign machine, reshaping strategy, deciding who runs where, and massively influencing the future of U.S. politics. But why? Because for Trump, this isn't just about the elections. It's about protecting his own presidency and building an impeachment-proof firewall. In this video, we're diving deep into Trump's hidden election plan, how he's restructuring the Republican Party from behind the scenes, why inflation and taxes will be his weapon of choice, and what this means for both Republicans and Democrats heading into 2026. Trust me, you'll want to hear this story. Stay with me till the end, because the real twist is not about the election, it's about a potential third impeachment. Do you think a former president could control an election from behind the curtain? You're about to see exactly how. In modern American politics, presidents usually step into the midterm election game around final campaign months. But this time, things are very different. As early as summer 2025, nearly 18 months before the 2026 elections, Donald Trump began calling Republican lawmakers, urging them to stay in Congress rather than running for higher offices like Senate or governor. Why? Because he wants to prevent messy primary battles and keep the Republican Party focused and unified. Political analysts call this extremely unusual, even unprecedented for a sitting or former president in modern U.S. history. He personally spoke to lawmakers like Bill Huizenga, Michigan, Zach Nunn, Iowa, Mike Lawler, New York, convincing them to drop Senate or governor plans and instead run for re-election in the House, because losing the House is Trump's biggest fear. Trump believes if Republicans lose just one chamber, Democrats can block everything and even launch a new impeachment. But why is Trump so nervous? What exactly is threatening his presidency? Trump's aggressive involvement in the 2026 elections didn't come out of nowhere. After last year's local elections, exit polls showed something alarming. The rising cost of living was the single biggest reason voters punished Republicans. In other words, inflation is killing his popularity. Right now, his approval rating has dropped to 38%, the lowest this year, according to a Reuters and Ipsos poll. Political strategists warn that when a president is unpopular, his party loses seats. Even Trump's own advisors said he was frustrated, warning Republican strategists, "We can't let Democrats take the affordability message. It belongs to us." What made it worse? Some of the inflation was actually caused by Trump's own tariffs on imports, raising the price of groceries, electronics, and everyday items. To fix it, he recently scrapped tariffs on coffee, meat, fruits, and other groceries. But will that be enough? Trump knows he can't win the affordability war with words alone, so he turned to something more powerful: tax cuts and money in your pocket. Trump is betting big on one promise: Americans will see bigger tax refunds in 2026. Through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, Trump made permanent many tax cuts from his first presidency, including bigger child tax credits, extra deductions for homeowners, and higher refund eligibility. According to nonpartisan analysis, the average taxpayer may receive around $3,752 in tax savings in 2026. Trump's message is simple: inflation might hurt, but I'm putting money back in your pocket. But experts warn, bigger refunds don't mean lower prices. People feel the economy in the grocery aisle, not just on their tax forms. Kyle Kondik, a respected elections analyst, said, "Tax cuts don't automatically fix inflation. People still feel like the economy is hurting them." So will the tax gamble work or backfire? But here's where it gets intense, because Trump's real mission isn't economic or political, it's personal. Trump isn't just trying to help Republicans win, he's trying to protect himself. He knows if Democrats gain control of the House, they could lead a third impeachment attempt. Yes, third. While past Senate majorities saved him from removal, the impeachment process itself damaged his presidency. One White House official said, "For Trump, winning 2026 is about survival. The Senate is his final shield." That's why he's creating a firewall, keeping strong Trump loyalists in Congress, discouraging Republican defections, and trying to control both chambers. He has already endorsed 16 Senate candidates and 47 House candidates, an unusually high number this early. These are not just endorsements, they're loyalty tests. His strategy is targeted: protect swing seats, keep incumbents from retiring, avoid intra-party fights, mobilize non-traditional voters. He even told Republican leaders, Republicans have to bring in voters who don't normally show up in midterms. That's how I won before. But can Trump protect the party if he can't even protect his own public image? Trump strongly believes that Republicans perform better when he's on the ballot. In recent elections where he wasn't involved, Republicans underperformed. So, this time, he plans to be front and center, headlining rallies, advertising tax cut messages, and serving as the face of the midterms. Republicans call this a decisive advantage. But Democrats love the idea of a front and center Trump campaign. The Democratic strategist Kendall Whitmer said, "Every Trump appearance reminds voters how he has made life harder for everyday Americans." Translation: the more Trump talks, the more Democrats mobilize. So, will Trump boost turnout or self-destruct? But the biggest question is, can Trump actually control a party that is starting to resist him? Despite his aggressive strategy, not everyone in the GOP is fully on board. Last week, Trump faced backlash from both Republican lawmakers and supporters when he tried to block the release of Justice Department files related to Epstein. He eventually had to reverse his stance. Even some Republican strategists warn that when a president becomes unpopular, he doesn't bring candidates into office, he takes them out. In other words, Trump's greatest political weapon, his influence, may also be his biggest risk. Donald Trump has launched one of the most unusual midterm strategies in modern political history. He's reshaping the GOP, personally selecting candidates, using tax cuts as campaign ammunition, and building a congressional shield to protect his presidency. But success is not guaranteed. His plan depends on three things. Will voters trust his economic message despite inflation? Can he boost Republican turnout in 2026? And most importantly, can he prevent a Democratic takeover that could trigger impeachment? This is more than an election. It's a political chess match, and Trump is fighting for survival. What do you think? Will Trump's hands-on control help the GOP dominate 2026 or divide the party even more? And do you believe Trump is really protecting the party or just himself? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be replying to the most interesting takes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications